Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division in the Fall Major 2021. We are playing the Waterfield Sands course and we're going to look at replays for all 9 holes. Before we get started, please do hit thumbs up on the video and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Join me on Monday morning. I'm going to be live streaming first looks at Pro and Expert Division at the beginning of the tournament. So that is 8 AM UK time, Pro and Expert for the Fall Major. As always, we're going to go through each hole in order, going to show you the replays and talk you through my adjustments and give you suggestions of alternatives and my thoughts on the holes as we go along. Before we get started, don't forget also, join us on Facebook, BK Golf Clash, loads of shot sharing, free guides and other people that will be able to help you out in your game play. Alright then, here we go with hole. On this par 4, I recommend that we always play on the left-hand side. And topspin is the key. These par 4s are very long on the Waterfield Sands course. So I'm going with a power 3 ball and the big topper, max topspin, and as much right spin as possible without losing any topspin. Adjusting max plus 10. Obviously, if you are playing with better clubs, with high-level APOC or Thor's hammer, use that instead of the big topper, but if you don't have those, the big topper is going to work nicely. We can go with some overpower here. We have room for a great left and a great right. Thankfully the fairway is quite wide with the big topper, which is good, but we want to get as far down as we can on this one. Second shot here, and I'm actually having a look at a rough bump in this replay, so I'm going to add some topspin, and then I do add 2 bars side spin to the left because that I feel gives me the most consistent ball guide here. I'm aiming at the pin on this one, and the adjustment that I'm trying here is just under max distance with 5% under adjustment because we do shoot slightly uphill here. So I go 5.8 rings, which is about 90% slider minus 5. Work in progress here, but I do think this is an interesting approach. If we can try and dial this one in. Looked like we were going to get good speed towards the hole, but just died a little bit short there due to the green being uphill. It is a tricky one to get a drop on. I do think the rough bump is worth investigating though, and Sniper gives us a very nice ball guide there. First example here, I do have headwind, so I'm choosing to play with a power 1 ball and the quarterback in complete minimum distance. Adding spin, 3 bars of backspin, and then aiming right at the pin here. I like playing from the complete min line, very good reference to have with a power 1 ball. The adjustment I'm going with here, I play minimum distance numbers with 15% elevation. However, we are just over adjusted on this one. We need to really go with min distance with 10% elevation rather than 15. I do believe that would have been a tweak that would have got us in the hole for a hole in 1 here. Bounces nicely in the rough, just going to miss to the left hand side of the cup though, so I think a little tweak to the adjustment, very good chance of a hole in 1 in that wind angle with the quarterback. Some tailwind now, and cross tailwind, actually going to go with a power 3 ball and Sniper level 10. We can do the rough bump with Sniper level 10 at max. Obviously lower level snipers we're going to have to rethink on this one, but we're playing max distance with a power 3 ball. I was going to play this no spin. In the end I decided to put a little click of top spin on. I shouldn't have done that, and you'll see why in a moment. Here my adjustment is max distance, 15% elevation. Max plus 15. So make my adjustment, and then we are going to hit perfect, which is of course what we want to do. Perfect away, and you'll see here I should not have put the top spin on. Bounces nicely, we're coming in hot though. We hit the pin and sadly we bounce out. So I do think no top spin on that one, maybe even a smidge of backspin would have been a very good look in that wind angle. This is a very difficult par 5 and we are looking really just for an eagle, to be quite honest, especially in this direct headwind. Kingmaker and an APOC. Very useful to have Apocalypse here because we do need a lot of curl. Half the red ring inside the rough at +8 with the APOC 4, obviously that would be +2 with the APOC 5. The adjustment I go with here is max +20, takes me into overpower, so I apply that and a little bit extra to my shot, and I'm going with a generous amount of curl to the left that you see there. Do hit a minor grate, still going to be absolutely fine though, and the top spin takes us very nicely with our max side spin to the left towards the top of this piece of fairway. Obviously, tailwind, we can't go full blast with a berserker, especially in stronger winds, but in headwind we're just going to have to try and bounce over and gain as much distance as possible. Second shot, we do need a 180-yard wood club. Choose the one that gives you the most top spin. Here I'm at max with the power 3 ball. I'm going with max top spin, max left spin. In the end, I shift my aim slightly to the right just to give myself room for the curl. And once I've done that, I'm then going to adjust max numbers, 0 elevation. Max plus 0. I was stretching out, worked out I can go with a bit of overpower, so I do go with 3 rings of overpower here and full curl to the left. Here we do hit double grate right, but it's still going to be absolutely fine. We're not going to clip the rough at all. You'll obviously know a perfect will get you more centre to the green, but even from here we are left with a very makeable end bringer wedge for our eagle. So I'm stretching out using the end bringer school, find max distance, slide a percentage based on where the pin stands between the ball and max distance wedge. And I make my estimation this is about 88-90% slider, so I'm playing no spin, and then depending what level end bringer you have, you're either going to go 15% or 20% elevation. So no spin, ball guide to the hole, and we do want to hit perfect, especially when we're above 60-70% with the end bringer school. We do hit perfect here. Obviously if you have a bit more top spin and a better wind angle, you're going to be closer, but even with these wind angles, there's your way of getting an eagle on this tricky par 5. Cross tailwind here, going to go with the sniper. I've tried a lot of approaches on this hole, bouncing to the left of where I am now before the bunker, bouncing beyond the bunker on the left, but neither of them give me a very consistent approach or bounce in my opinion. So I'm trying something between the bunkers here. 2 backspin, 3 bars side spin to the left. We don't have a lot of ball guide to go on after the 3rd bounce due to the design of the green, but we're going to have a go. Here I want to adjust mid plus 20. Now in max wind here in Pro Division with the Kingmaker, it does take me to the minimum distance line, so we want to try and get the wind lower if we can. We're just on the min line here, so in the end I go with a little bit of underpower. Then we are applying some curl. Never nice to use curl on a par 3, but I do feel with this approach we do need to get that curl there, half a ball of curl to the left to bring us into the pin. We get a very nice bounce here. We just sneak it in left edge, so maybe a smidgen less curl would be good there, but a beautiful hole-in-one on a very tricky par 3. Okay, we're going to look at the replays. This is a difficult par 5, to be honest. I'm going to suggest, especially for tournament play, we go with a berserker, especially in any form of tailwind. So berserker and a quarterback here, and with plenty of backspin, as you can see, 2 bars side spin to the right. And I'm going to set up here. I haven't got a plus yardage reference, so we're just going to look at the ball guide. There's a little patch of rough there, a rock near the white ring we can look at as well. But here I'm going with the backspin, want to just lay up towards the end of the piece of fairway here. So we're going to do this one at 7.2 rings, and that is medium distance, 10% elevation, power 5 settings. Curl to the right, as you can see there, and we just want the ball to park up very nicely, approaching the end of the fairway there. Obviously in higher winds we may need to tweak the adjustment or the backspin in case of rolling too long, but somewhere around there is going to be fine. Second shot, and this is where we need the berserker really for the wood club, and I'm going to go with the guardian for the backspin. Here I just want to safely get my ball on the green. So I'm stretching out, having a look at the ball guide here. I then remove some backspin. I really shouldn't have done that. I would suggest going with 7 bars backspin really here. 2 bars left spin. Stretching out, finding my aim point, then I'm going to adjust max plus 10. Once I've done that, I push back up to max, And then again, from here, after adjusting and pushing up, I stretch out a few rings to visualize the amount of rings that that adjustment gave me, so that I can see how many rings of overpower I'm likely to need to get the ball to bounce on the fairway. Minor great right, but this is still going to be fine, and I'm using left curl against the wind here just to bring the ball in. As you can see, a little bit more backspin there would have been nice, but like I say, I just want to be putting for an eagle on this very difficult par 5. Okay, here we go. This is from Pro and Expert Division, second tee, and we do have headwind angle here, so I'm going to go with as much topspin as I have, playing with the extra mile level 7. Obviously, if you have more topspin available, better driver, then obviously go with that, but we are going to be fine with extra mile level 7 as well. Plus 8 yards, half the red ring inside the rough, 4.5 topspin, 2 bars side spin to the right. The adjustment I go with here is max plus 10, takes me into overpower, so I'm going to add that on, plus 1 ring extra as well, just to give myself a little bit more distance. No curl, because the wind is going to push us to the right. And we do hit a minor great left, but still going to be absolutely fine here. Obviously, we do have room to push this drive a lot further in headwind with more overpower, and definitely in tailwind as well. We're going to want to get as much distance as possible. But in headwind angle, we are going to set up a rough bump with our sniper. Estimating club distance here, and I'm coming to the conclusion I am in between mid and max. So I'm going to play this one 75% slider, 10% elevation. Adding spins, getting the top of the yellow ring, touching the rough with the ball guide to the hole. If you want more information about using the slider, min, mid and max distance of clubs, check out the BK Academy tutorial playlist on the channel homepage. So 75% slider, 10% elevation is the adjustment I go with here. We do get a perfect ball away, so we will see how this comes in. I do think the rough bump here is going to be the best chance at a drop. Just got to dial in and hopefully get some references here. We just burn the right edge though. Look at that, super close on this par 4, but not bad at all. Great attempt for an eagle with the rough bump. In this example we do have tailwind, so any form of tailwind will be with the sniper and a power 3 ball. Important here to get the speed right. If you have too much backspin, you will come in quite short of the pin due to the design and the slope on the green. So we are going to come in with a nice speed. If we miss the hole, it is going to roll a few squares past, but we are going to go for the hole in one here. Any form of headwind, we're going to play quarterback, minimum distance, and I suggest go with a power 2 ball here. You can go with a katana, because we do need 3 bars of side spin to the left. So a little bit of backspin here, 3 left spin. We still need some left curl, and that's going to be the key to getting this shot to drop, and one we can hopefully dial in a tournament scenario. A little bit over curled there that we see here, missing by half a square, but definitely a decent chance. But we do need to dial in and be careful as well of adjusting up onto the slope or down into the bunker. Little details on this par 3 are going to make all the difference, and like I said, important to get a good speed on the ball, otherwise you will stop short of the pin. Please do hit thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. We have 2 routes on this hole. Going to show you the left-hand route here. Obviously in tailwind we do want to play more aggressively, but here we have more a crosswind angle, so I'm going to play left side. Using Apocalypse level 4, obviously go with the driver that has the most topspin, because we do want to gain distance here. So I'm adding 6 bars of topspin, 3 bars side spin to the right, aiming, as you can see, just at the join in the fairway where that rough is. We are going to use some curl as well here, so max plus 20 on the adjustment. I do adjust into overpower, but I'm actually going to go with max overpower here, regardless of what I adjust into. Half a ball of curl to the right and a perfect ball away, and the curl is just going to take us very nicely down the fairway in between the rough on the left and the right, and we'll park up very nicely for an approach with our sniper. Drive distance here, anywhere around 370 yards, is going to be absolutely fine. Second shot, I'm actually going to set up quite a bit to the left and use 3 bars of right spin. That is because setting up a few rings to the right there and going at the pin directly is very glitchy. So here is a really good landing spot that I've found. 1 bar of backspin in this wind angle, aiming just short of the pin. And then my adjustment here is max 0. Maximum numbers, no elevation in this wind angle. So that's what I go with, and then no curl needed because we're aiming at the pin, A little bit of tailwind is going to push us very nicely the rest of the way. Perfect ball away, and as you can see, bounces nicely and we get a good run, and that camera turns round just at the last minute there, and we drop it beautifully for an eagle with our sniper. So very nice left hand side play there. If you don't have tailwind, then that is the route I'll be taking. Shot number one, the Apocalypse here is a very good advantage because we do need curl. 6 bars of topspin, 3 bars side spin to the left. I'm going to bounce across there, curling to the left over to that second piece of fairway. Adjustment here, max plus 20, setting up half of the red ring inside the rough at plus 10. APOC 5 plus would be obviously at plus 4. Going with a ball and a half of curl to the left and a little bit of overpower because I just want to make sure I clear the rough nicely. Perfect ball away, and we bounce very nicely on the fairway and rolling down onto the next piece of the fairway. Drive distance of 359 yards. We are going to set up a rough bump with that drive, and it's a very good chance at albatross here in my opinion. Problem here is I only have the Grizzly level 7. We are a little bit lacking in topspin. Perhaps could have set up a little bit further up and gone with 3 right spin in hindsight, but I'm going to have a go from here anyway. Plus 1 yards shown here, so I'm estimating my club distance, and I'm playing this one 80% slider, 0 elevation. 80% slider, 0 elevation. Adjust our rings, then we are of course going to take our shot, and I do believe out of all the par 5s on the Waterfield Sands course, this one is going to be by far the best chance at an albatross. The other two are very difficult indeed. Bounce in the rough, coming in nicely, a little bit shorter pace though, so we did need that touch more topspin, but still a very good look at the rough bump here on this par 5. Excellent chance for a drop.